Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Mataji, can you sing Jai Radha Madhav?
Yes, Prabhuji. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, that was very nice. Subal Prabhu ji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
yeah.
Pranam.
I think YouTube should be on. I think.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's already
Yeah.
on. I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay. So, devotees, let us see if we can recite the Mangala Charan. Okay, devotees, who can recite the Mangala Charan?
Krishna. Yeah, I can read.
Okay, Prabhu, please go.
Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunamritam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Very nice, Prabhuji. So, devotees, we are on chapter 8. I think on Friday, we must have discussed the 9. Very briefly, let's have a recap what we did on 9. Krishna is talking about all his qualities. So here, we have talked about almost 10 different qualities. Each one of them, covering, if I can just very quickly open this slide. Devotees, are you all able to see the slide?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So there are actually in that verse, Krishna is talking about 10 different qualities. Now we know why Krishna, he has already talked about many of his qualities, from the taste of water to the, he is the fire, he is the fragrance, everything. Why is he repeating? That also has been clarified. Arjuna himself is saying, Arjuna, I get these doubts once in a while. Like all of us, we suddenly think, really, who's Krishna? How big, how strong he is? Is he 7 foot, 6? We don't know. Some references are that Krishna was 12 feet, Rama was 12 feet. But still, can he really manage all the 14 lokas? One single. It's beyond our concept, beyond our imagination even. So Krishna is saying that the Kabim, he knows everything, all past, present, and future, Trikal, perfectly, of everybody. Oldest, he's calling that as what? Purana. Then he is the Anu Shasitaram, the complete controller. And then he's the smaller of the smallest and biggest of the biggest. Why is he considered smaller than the smallest? Any on some? Do we any thoughts, devotees, why Krishna is saying he's smaller than the smallest? The answer is here itself.
Yes, Prabhuji, he's in as Paramatma in everyone's heart.
Correct. And how is he there? The size of our Atma is the tip of the hair. You cut that into 10,000 pieces. 10,000. What do you find? We cannot even feel or even see, or we don't have any idea what is that. Very, very tiny. The modern equipments, all tools, nothing will work to even identify that. And that he's calling himself smaller than the smallest. He resides in that Atma. That means he's even smaller than that Atma, because he's inside that. But he's also biggest of the biggest, largest of the largest. Because he'll measure as a Vamana avatar. He'll measure all the 3 worlds just with 3 steps. So then he's the maintainer of everything, Datharam. Then beyond all material concept, that is what is called also Achintya. Beyond our concept. We don't know. We are not in this material platform. We have not experienced anyone like that. Either somebody will be tall. I think the historical record says the tallest person ever lived was maybe 8 feet. That's it. That's all. We haven't seen that person also. So we really don't know if somebody can be small at the same time very large also. And then he's also called here, he's a person. Despite all these qualities, and somebody say this cannot be described, he says, yes, it can be described. I have a rupam. Rupam means a form. So Krishna is going to step by step. 8, 9, 10 is going to show even his Vishwarupa. So 12 is going to explain more. Then he's like a Aditya Varnam, sun. We are talking about not just one sun. We are so far away from sun. But if 10,000 sun, we are able to see it in a very near sight, what would that effect be? It's such powerful. And Krishna himself is saying is transcendental. This material nature is calling that as Parasa. So it's a very devotees can understand this, not through any other. That is what here in this verse is going to talk about. How do we remember Krishna? What is the path? Let us read this, Prabhuji. This verse is also very important. How did I get into this? Okay. So devotees, this is 8, 9. We are going to go to 8, 10, which is today's discussion. devotees, this has got a different meter or metric. Some of the, most of the Bhagavad Gita verses are in the same metric. For example, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. This is the metric. Most of the verses go like this. This is a little different. If I may suggest, if you want to use this metric, it may be easier for you to read this verse. Prayanakale manasa chalena bhaktyo yukto yoga balena chaiva bruvor madhya pranam avashya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. So if you can start like that, it may be easier to read. Otherwise, the formation won't come up nicely. Anybody want to try, devotees?
You can try, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prayanakale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balencha dhruvar madhye pranamaveshya samya kyatam param puru mupeti divyam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Devotees, anyone else?
I think that we
Sure, Prabhu. Please. Prabhu.
Prano kale manasya chalena bhakta yukto yogo balena chaibo bruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyak satam param purusham upayati divyam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu. Baldev Prabhuji. That was very good. So, devotee, one more maybe we can read, or maybe this is a nice, verse. The metric is little different. Maybe two more devotees can recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll also try.
Please. Prabhu.
Prayanakale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu. Very good. Devotee, maybe one more we can take.
Hare
Sushil.
Krishna. Dandavat
Sushil.
Pranam Prabhuji. May I read Prabhuji?
Okay, Prabhu. Please.
Hare Krishna. Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bruhur var madhye pranam avashya samyak satam param purusham upatiti divyam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Very nice, Prabhu. Devotees, this is not actually pranam. This is pranam. Okay? So, anyhow, Shilpa Mataji, you want to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity. Prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Very nice, everybody. Devotees, remember this. There may not be too many verses like this. I would say maybe about 15 or so in the entire Bhagavad Gita. So during that time, if you can use this kind of a metric, it will be easier for us to remember, recite the verses. So devotees, one of us can read the synonym and translation. Pawan Prabhu, you want to try?
Can I ask a question before that?
Please.
So the verse, how do you recognize the meter? How do you know it's a different metric?
Because the way of the structure of the formation, for example, normally there would be like 4 words. Okay, this is God. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally it will be only 4. Here, even though this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 5 is a different formation.
Okay. All right.
Let us
Thank
go
you.
back here. Okay. Here you see it's all 4, right? Or maybe 3, but split into 4. Kavim, Puranam, Anusashitaram, Anur, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that, Prabhu?
Yeah, I can see now. I see the difference. Okay. I
Yeah. So,
understand.
so by looking at it, and I mean, we all get familiarized more and more we read. So when you look at something like this, you know this is a 5 kind of a phrase formation. So you change the metric little bit.
Okay.
Pawan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Prayana Kale, at the time of death, Manasa, by the mind, Achalena, without its being deviated, Bhaktya, in full devotion, Yuktya, engaged, Yoga Balena, by the power of mystic yoga, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Bhruvoho, the 2 eyebrows, Madhye, between, Pranam, the life air, Avesya, establishing, Samay, completely. Sa, he, tam, that, Param, transcendental, Purusham, personality of Godhead, Upayati, achieves, Divyam, in the spiritual kingdom. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari Bol.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Devotees, one of us can read the purport.
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mahesh Prabhu.
I can try.
Mahesh Prabhu, you are back. Welcome
Yes.
back.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Yesterday
we get special strength when we see you.
Yes. Thank
Hari
you.
Bol. Please read, Prabhu.
Yeah. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly stated that at the time of death, the mind must be fixed in devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For practiced in yoga, it is recommended that they raise the life force between the eyebrows in the bracket to the Ajnan chakra. The practice of Sat Chakra Yoga involving meditation on the 6 chakras is suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice such yoga, but because he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, at the death he can remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his grace. This is explained in verse 14. The particular use of word yoga balena is significant in this verse because without practice of yoga, whether Sat Chakra Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, one cannot come to this transcendental state of being at the time of death. One cannot suddenly remember the Supreme Lord at death. One must have practiced some yoga system, especially the system of Bhakti Yoga. Since one's mind at death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Mahesh Prabhu. You want to share some thoughts, Prabhuji?
I see it clearly that at the time of death, the person's mind is very fluctuated, and he might have pain, suffering, and all that. But if he can engage his mind towards the Krishna consciousness or the just the Harinam or the repeating the name of Lord Sri Krishna, which is basically the Bhakti Yoga. he can come to Krishna's Godhead. Yeah, and I think for that purpose we don't have to do that Hatha Yoga or some other type of yoga systems, but just the Bhakti Yoga will make us will help us to get this the Godhead of Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare, Hare.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Devotees, more thoughts? Sushilpa Mataji, why did you become horizontal?
You're
Mataji,
on mute, Mataji.
You want to
Mataji,
say
you are
something,
muted.
Sushilpa Mataji? Okay, that's fine. Anyone else want to
Yes,
share some?
Prabhuji, I'd like to share something.
Please.
Like 2-3 wars back, I believe there was a verse in which it was mentioned that meditating on Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also a type of yoga. Like it was similar to this, which explained that in this verse also it has been explained that person who do yoga, they have full concentration. Like it's a level when you do yoga, your concentration increases, but we are not able to achieve that yoga. Everyone is not able to do that. So I believe when you meditate on Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's same as yoga. It's same as yoga level. So yeah, so at the time of death, you will, because of chanting throughout your life, you will definitely remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what I understood. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you are right. Just some slides.
But Prabhuji, how can it can interact yoga, Hare Krishna mantra, whatever she's saying, the Mataji, I was like, my mind cracked with over here. So I just
Yeah.
can you clarify this one, please, how it relates to chanting and So can you please explain more clearly, Prabhuji, please? Thank you.
Sure. So what Krishna is saying, he's still not giving a complete surrendered devotional process. We are still not there. He's giving various options. So one of them is this, but what Krishna is saying, you definitely need a yoga balen, meaning you need some yoga system, whether you call it as a Ashtanga yoga or in this special one, Sat Chakra yoga. Devotees, let me very briefly show you what's going on here. Okay, this is a very, it's called a Chakra yoga. Okay. Some people also, it's a combination of also Kundalini yoga. It's almost the same. Philosophically, they are the same. So what it does is that it connects the 6 chakras. This is scientific. There's nothing. I mean, there are the chakra meaning there are 6 process stoppage. You can say stops, not stoppage, stops of our life cycle. I mean, breathing. So it starts from our lower part of the body, which is called the Mooladhara. And then how you control all this, each and every, stops, the chakra. How you do this is a yoga system. It's a bona fide yoga system. Krishna is not suggesting, he will not suggest anything that is not scientific or that is not practical or that is not real. Why would you do that? So this is a real system. It's a bona fide system only. And the ultimate purpose here is, which is called the Sahasrara, the crown chakra. You completely get into the self-realized, like we saw in that Ashtanga yoga, completely you get into Samadhi level. This is another process. In Ashtanga yoga, devotees, do we remember the 8 process? Do we remember?
Yam, Niyam, that one, Prabhuji?
What is it?
The Yam and Niyam, that one?
Yeah.
I don't remember all of them, but
Okay. It starts with yama, niyama, asanas, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, then dhyana, then samadhi. It is slightly different, that one. Chakra is slightly different, but it all falls under the yoga system. So here, there is a practice here. A lot of the ancient sadhus all used to do that. They used to control this very nicely, all this body. The more and more your body, mind becomes unified, your mind becomes very, very perfectly blissful. Okay, that is what is the complete detached, selfless samadhi level. Okay, we can call this as a Brahman realization to a very large extent. That's what it is. This is what all the the yogis and the jnanis, they tried to achieve this. This is part of the dhyana yoga also. This is good. We all want to take care of our body, but there is one main issue with this and bhakti yoga. Any thought what is that issue? Why bhakti yoga we always say is better? If somebody can do chakra yoga, ashtanga yoga, and reach the highest level, why should we really spend time on bhakti yoga? I know we may say this is easier and efficient, but even other than that, there is one very, very critical difference.
So, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
In
Krishna.
this chakra, they can go to the spiritual world, but that doesn't mean they will meet Krishna or go to the Krishna loka. But Bhakti Yoga will go to the Krishna loka.
Absolutely, Prabhu. That is the highest difference. Definitely, no doubt about that. All these yogas, Ashtanga yoga, and also this is called Sat Chakra yoga. Even though there are 7 levels, it is called Sat Chakra because you are connecting between these 6 chakras in your body. This is very popular also. Some very few very rare people who follow this perfectly. This needs perfection. A lot of things here to. Your life has to be very disciplined. Not that devotee's life is not disciplined. Physically, waking up, what you eat, everything is to be very, very systematic. I see Bhakti Mata, you want to say something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I just like to add that Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, all are different than Bhakti Yoga because Bhakti Yoga, there is love and devotion for Krishna. The devotee does with love and devotion, where Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga has not that love and devotion as present on that yoga. So connecting Krishna with love is there in Bhakti Yoga.
Very nice, Mataji. Definitely. Even Krishna, in the Dhyana Yoga chapter, his final verse is that Ashtanga Yoga becomes perfect only when it is done with Bhakti. So Bhakti is the ultimate. That's true. Shalini Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a question. So, like when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, does that also like activate these chakras that we are showing, or is that like totally like different?
If you're going to ask in a very technical way, you may not be really concentrating on all the chakras, but the mantra itself is very powerful. It takes care of your body, mind, soul, and it creates love for Krishna. So it's a very powerful, it's the best powerful process that we can practice in this Kali Yuga. But if you're going to ask me, by chanting Maha Mantra, I'm having some problem in my chest or stomach, will it go away? That needs a very perfect way of understanding your body on all this chakra also. That's separate. But we are not this body to begin with. That's the main difference we have to understand. That even all this yoga, it is concentrating so much on the body. The ultimate yoga connection is with Krishna. That is the highest yoga. Otherwise, we'll be stuck with the body. You can also get self-realized, and you can also reach the Brahman level. But our goal is to really reach Krishna, serve Krishna. That may or may not be possible when you do chakra system. Because Krishna himself is saying, you do all this thing in the mood of devotion.
Got it. So this is different from Bhakti Yoga. Like this chakra system
But ultimately, all this, we to some extent we may need to take care of our body. The model of this, all this, pictures and the yoga process. Krishna is giving us that yes, you have to take care of your body. Everything is good. The problem with all this yoga, Ashtanga yoga and this chakra yoga, is that what happens the moment you are not able to do this yoga? What will happen?
The system crashes.
You cannot practice anymore.
Right.
You may have some health issue. You may have fever. You are not even able to get up. But with Bhakti Yoga, whatever level you are, let's take a very practical example, devotees. Let's say you have a 36 hours flight from here to India. Can you do chakra yoga?
No.
You won't be able to do it because it needs a certain environment, it needs a certain posture, it needs a separate concentration, right? But with Bhakti Yoga, whether you are inside the flight, there is a layover of several hours in the airport, you just keep on, and even if you don't have the beats, mentally also you can change. Whereas you cannot really do Ashtanga also in the later part is his mind, but especially the Satchakra Yoga, it is just you cannot concentrate on mind because you're going to concentrate more on this chakras within your body.
Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining and answering my question.
Yes, that is why we always say Bhakti Yoga is better because we can follow that any time. There is no time restriction. There is no location restriction. There is really no restriction about anything. Even at the deathbed, we can easily chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra easily than doing chakra.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What do you all think?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right.
And Prabhuji also, Bhakti Yoga is service for Krishna, service to please Guru Gauranga, all are service. But Jnana Yoga, those Ashtanga Yoga, this is more like impersonal, Prabhuji. So it's like for the bodily conception also comes with this yoga process. And there is no service conception.
Yes, that is true. But one thing with devotees, we have to be very careful just because we are on the Bhakti Yoga platform. Mahesh Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Means like a true yogi is also, I can say, like he's also devotee. I'm not saying he is not devotee or he's less devotee than the one who is performing the Bhakti Yoga. Because the true yogi, he thinks that me and all other beings are also equal, means they are same. So in our case also, we say that anyone who is the devotee of Lord Sri Krishna, he is same as me, because I'm not like higher than someone else who is doing just started recently or not perfect in that sense. So both, I would say, the true yogis are also same as like the bhakti yogis, but not all yogis understand that, and that's why they feel that they are different. The true yogi, he is always the person of the bhakti yoga also. And I think the Lord Sri Krishna in some of the, I think chapter 6, he says in the last thing, I think the last verse of that was that, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all that. That is my opinion. That is what Lord Sri Krishna has said in the chapter 6, yeah, last verse, yeah. So I don't see any difference between Bhakti Yoga and the true yogis here, yeah. So yes, means it is difficult to become yogi in the sense because the steps involved are really difficult, and we have to control our mind, we have to control our body, and it is not for everyone. The person who don't control his mind or the desires and all, and also the person who don't have a able body, I don't think he can follow that too. But the Bhakti Yoga is much easier. It is anybody who is like a small kid, or it can be little bit not very healthy. He can still follow that Bhakti Yoga, which is very simple, and be in the practical life and still attend the what yogis attend. Yeah. So from looking at the point of the end goal, I see that Bhakti Yoga is far superior to the other yogas, yeah, because of the easiness. But ultimate goal is in both the path is same, yeah. Means we should treat everyone same, equal on equal as the part of Lord Sri Krishna, and with that, I think we can achieve our final goal. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's my understanding of both the paths. Yeah.
You're right, Prabhu. Your understanding is correct. In the perfect sense, let us see. I have one more. Not sure if I have. I don't know. I went into a different. Okay. So, devotees, as we all know, yoga has got many, many branches. Many. Krishna, when we read Bhagavad Gita, mostly it is kind of split into three. Karma Yoga, in the middle is Bhakti Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, like six chapters. I agree with Mahesh Prabhuji's kind of comment and realization that if it is done perfectly, yes, it is the ultimate Krishna, you will reach Krishna, whatever it is. If you're a perfect Karma Yogi, if you're a perfect Jnana Yogi, if you're a perfect Bhakti Yogi, you will definitely reach. But why we keep on saying Bhakti Yoga is that, again, because of the practical aspect of achieving that. Meaning, for somebody to be a perfect Karma Yoga, it is very, very tough. Very tough. Whereas we are able to take this very seriously, not that they won't take it very seriously, but we do everything, our transformation is much faster. And this Kali Yuga especially, because time is a very critical factor, we are not living in a Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga where you have thousands of years to rectify yourself. In those times, like for example, Bharat Maharaj, he got 3 opportunities, right? We don't have that luxury. Not that this one-time deal. We will get another chance. But this time we have some realization. So Bhakti Yoga is much preferable. Krishna himself has come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that this is the best to do. That does not mean the others are all not valueless. That's not the meaning at all. This is very efficient. There is a lot of chance of achieving this in one lifetime. Whereas to do that in Karma Yoga or different types of, this Kriya Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga. So the Ashtanga Yoga, this part, the bodily, physical aspect of all this yoga, this is the mind, the Jnana, Bhakti, mind, body, and soul. You do that through this. And the left-hand side is your physically how you are going to do it. So the question is that Bhakti Yoga is again very, very practical. I would not repeat the phrase easy. It's also not easy. We should never think that because I'm in Bhakti Yoga, Krishna Loka and back to Godhead is guaranteed. No. Not at all. Prabhupada also said that many, many times. Just because you're chanting or even you got initiated, it does not guarantee you that unless you become completely purified. That is required in all this yoga. Karma yoga also, you have to be completely selfless. You have to understand the higher Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, you have to understand. Jnana yoga, when they think about the Brahman, they have to be completely pure. So in Bhakti Yoga also, that element is there. But what is happening is that we are able to travel in this Bhakti Yoga path much, much efficiently. Because right now, think about this. Doing this kind of a yoga right now, devotees, there may be only a handful of people who are doing this. It's not practical. There's nobody there also even to teach in a proper way all this kind of chakra or even Ashtanga yoga. There is really not a proper guru right now. There may be one or two. And again, let's come back to the yoga itself. Yoga means connection. So in the Ashtanga yoga, even though the ultimate goal is mind, until that it's mostly the bodily aspect of it. But in Bhakti Yoga, from day one, we are surrendering our mind to Krishna with devotion and love. So it's much, much efficient, much faster, much doable. What do you all think, devotees? What is your thoughts? Why we are keep on saying Bhakti Yoga is better? Has anyone done any yoga here, physical yoga?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I do yoga every morning. 5 days a week I do yoga.
Very good, Prabhu. What kind of yoga you do, Prabhu?
Both pranayama and the sun salutation.
Okay.
And warm up and everything I do, but mostly I do it for an hour every day in the morning through a teacher from India on the Zoom I do. So Prabhuji, I feel that there is one slight addition to whatever everybody has said. So I agree that in the end we all need to the dhyana yoga or the spiritual path with bhakti is very important. But I think here there is an additional component where it is telling to get to the bhakti, how to get to the bhakti state, right? How to remember the God when you're kind of at that space. So in what I have learned, again, please correct me, is we have the 5 koshas, right? The Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha, the Manomaya kosha, and the Vijnanamaya kosha. So, and the last one is obviously the bliss, the Anandamaya kosha. So the Annamaya kosha is our physical presence, right? Our body and our our food, digestion, all of that stuff stays in the Annamaya kosha. And the Manomaya kosha is our mind. The link between these two koshas is the Pranamaya kosha, the air that is there. When we pause, like for example, they say, if you just stop your breathing for 1 minute, your mind will stop thinking. It will start only to think about the air at that point. So through breathing, you can control your mind and what the mind is thinking. And through that, you can reach to bhakti. So I think the prana over here is kind of additionally adding to get into that bhakti state. If you can do the prana and do the breathing practices, which is also very simple actually, the 5 breathing practices that we have as per the yoga, if we are able to control our breath, it is the connection between both the Annamaya kosha and Manomaya kosha, and it helps with the more blood flow, our digestion, our physical existence, and it also helps with the control of the mind, which in turn helps us into the bhakti path.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you share the link, Pavan Prabhuji? Thank you so much.
Good thoughts, Pavan Prabhu. But ultimately, we are now kind of in the middle. not exactly middle, we got another good 10 chapters to go, we will see that it is just not perfection of our pranayama or a perfection of our asanas or not even perfection of self-realization. Krishna's preference, we very clearly see that to meditate upon him, that is you can meditate. You can meditate upon Brahman and Paramatma. There is nothing wrong. Krishna is accepting that. Here he is not even saying, but when he's saying, at the time of death, yoga balena, some kind of yoga, you definitely need a yoga system. But we have to take this bhaktya into consideration. He says, if you do that, then you will have complete success. That is what is Krishna's recommendation. So if you remove this bhaktya and you use some other yoga, which Krishna will accept it. But as Baldesava Prabhuji said, our goal is to really understand and surrender ourselves to Krishna and do seva for him. That is our ultimate. Does that mean that Krishna is going to throw away all those people who have done perfect Satchakra yoga? No, not like that. But we have a much, if there is a guarantee, there is no guarantee in material world, but in the spiritual world, there are some assurances because Krishna is giving this assurance. We are not giving. In the material world, human beings give assurance. They are all with material defects. But Krishna is the perfect. So he's saying, one who at the time of death fixes the life hair between the eyebrows, this is yoga, correct. This is also yoga. Everything is good. But in remembering, this is main. How are we going to remember Lord if we don't practice? Somebody might be doing Surya Namaskar, but they may never think about Krishna. You may be a very self-realized person by doing Surya Namaskar, very pure. Your diet is pure. Your mind is very calm, composed, good. But Krishna is saying, think about me. How does that come into Ashtanga Yoga unless you're going to think about Krishna? Right? So as we move along, you'll see that Krishna has got a very special kind of an instruction that only devotees can perform that. Otherwise, there is, for example, a normal yogi will not think about Krishna. Right? Do you agree with that, Pawan Prabhu?
No, 100% Prabhu. In the end, the bhakti is the important.
Yeah.
And saying that through breathing, you can achieve the bhakti easier. That's all.
Yeah.
But bhakti is the critical thing. End of the day, you have to get to that devotion. But for that devotion, you have to control the mind. To control the mind, it is telling the prana. But eventually, bhakti, however you can reach it, if you are able to reach it, that is the goal.
Very good, Prabhu. Yes. But Prabhu, Surya Namaskar, I was told that it's a very powerful yoga. It's good that you're doing that for a long time. It definitely helps you. Devotees, as I was saying along with the slide, just because also we are in the Bhakti Yoga path, there is no guarantee. It's not that easy. Let's not take this light. Let's not take Krishna for granted. Here also you have to be very pure. Physically you have to be pure. Mentally you have to be pure. Have you come out of the Tamaguna? Perfectly. I am not, Prabhuji. Are we willing to completely surrender to our Guru? When a Guru says something, or when a senior devotee says something, are we able to accept that? Any thoughts, devotees? Personally, devotees, I might have mentioned this many times earlier also. I have had a very unique opportunity to render seva, be in the association of a Guru Maharaj, almost like on a weekly, daily basis, I would say. But believe me, devotees, if when I'm looking back my past 20 years, there were so many occasions I could not fulfill my Guru's whatever his desire or instruction. I would say a good 40%. I could not do it simply. Why? Those are all, I can give you a lot of excuses and reasoning, but I wasn't able to do it. That's it, simple. 40%, I would say. So the question here is that when we say, I'm a devotee, I'm an initiated disciple, it all comes, how perfect are you? Are you ready to unconditionally? Are you ready to surrender to your Guru Maharaj? It may not be in your favor. My Guru Maharaj told me, come and stay in the ashram. You will, this journey, what is here? Prayana. Prayana means it's a journey. Some people in the material world call it the final journey. For us, it's not a final journey. This is a journey to go back. It's the best journey we can have. This is not a final journey. This is the best journey we will have. But I was not able to do that, devotees. In my mind, I had my own reasoning, but that's not perfection. I thought I'll share that. Anybody else want to share, devotees? Baldev Sir Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I would like to share.
Sure.
But so Prabhuji, it's very true that what Pavan Prabhuji says, I just would like to just make one point on that. Yes, it's very important to keep our body healthy, and for our body, we should do the yoga because Prabhupada says that body is your wealth. Like if you keep your body healthy, then you will be able to serve Krishna more diligently. So that's why we have to keep our body healthy, and that's why yoga is important. But Bhakti Yoga, the difference, as you mentioned, is that Krishna is always, we have to be submissive to Krishna, and we need to serve and please the Guru. As you said, are we accepting Guru's instructions or the senior devotees, what they said? So like false ego also, we have to get rid of our false ego and surrender ourselves to Guru. That's first point. And then second, Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada in his lectures mentioned that Antakale, like at the end of our life, the real test will come, what you do the whole life. So Prabhupada says it's very clearly that will come at the end of your life, what you have done the whole of your life. So that's why when I'll die, that time, if I able to remember Krishna or not, that test will come on that time. What's my status of my bhakti? So that's Prabhupada. It's like reflect me a lot, Prabhuji. I'm reflecting on this point a lot. And Prabhupada, as a pure devotee, he showed what is the pure devotee's life should be. So at his deathbed, when he is about to leave his body, he was constantly speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was telling the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and his disciples were recording that. We all know that video. I think all of us have seen that video. He was talking continuously Srimad Bhagavatam, and during that time, he was so jolly and happy. So no fear in his eyes. So that's a pure devotee, Prabhuji. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have a question on what you shared, Mataji. So you said like one at the time of death, one part is like whether or not we can remember Krishna at the end of our life, and then the second part is like almost like Judgment Day, like what did we do throughout our life? Were we a good person or a bad person? Am I understanding that correctly, Mataji?
No, Mataji. As I'm just repeating what Prabhupada said. I just paraphrase what Prabhupada mentioned. The real test will come during the last phase of our life. Means that Prabhupada try to say is that how sincerely we practice the Bhakti Yoga. That test we have to give at the end of our life. So if one devotee, I'm not talking about myself, if a pure devotee like Prabhupada himself, when he almost about to leave his body, he was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam sloka, Srimad Bhagavatam to his disciple at the very end of his life. So he is a pure devotee. The whole life he just practiced the Bhakti Yoga. What he did for ISKCON, the whole world does now know. So that's what, Mataji, I just would like to, that's what he said, like real test will come. So if I am like doing a lot of like not bhakti yoga seriously, or I am doing with like I'm just aspiring person, I'm trying to. So that test will come in my death or death time also, whether I'll be able to remember, because during the death, like I'll have lot of pain, sufferings maybe will have. Who knows? So will I be able to remember Krishna? That the real test will come.
Got it, Mataji.
So I don't know.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much,
Hare Krishna.
Vasati Mataji. Nicely explained.
Thank you,
Hare,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, Mataji. Now, dear devotees, again, why Srila Prabhupada, all the devotees keep on emphasizing the importance of bhakti is that at least we have a greater chance of thinking about Krishna because we chant every day. Right? At least one time, two times, or 16 times, many of us. So that means we are at least out of that 16, at least one time we would have remembered Krishna. It's a great opportunity to think about that. Tomorrow, if I can chant at least one round, I would have thought about Krishna. So at least whether it was in full devotion, that we will leave it to, we will not get into, that becomes too judgmental. We'll leave that to Krishna. But at least we are able to follow Krishna's instruction that, yes, I was thinking about you, Krishna. So that is why this chanting is very important. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has given us, there are so many things, books, prasadam, kirtan, deity worship. But chanting is something so powerful, it's not dependent on anything. Anything. If you are breathing, there is a very good chance you can chant. That powerful. You are not dependent on anything. Even for deity worship, you need certain things for deity worship. Books, you need a book to read. But chanting, you can do it. Even mentally, you can do it. Baldesa Prabhu, you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So as I had the Mahesh Prabhu and Pawan Prabhu's nice discussion. So in Gita, Krishna clearly said, even 9th chapter, it is the, we say, topmost Bhakti Yoga chapter, that Shushukham Kurtum Abhayam. If you do the Bhakti Yoga, Shushukham, that means no pain. And Prabhupada said, eating, chanting, and feasting, and dancing. But for the yoga system, in Gita, Krishna says in 12th chapter, Klesho Odikatar Tesham. Those are more harder to do. Klesho. We can go there, we can be reach to the ultimately Bhakti Yoga, but Klesho, much harder. So a person who is like 80 or 90 years old and he wants to be now devotional or want to start prayer, it is very hard for them to do yogas because you cannot even sit, stand. But even in the laying on the bed, they can start Bhakti Yoga. They can do Bhakti Yoga and reach Krishna Loka. So that is the difference basically. But ultimately, all are Krishna's process. But will we take the simple way or go very harder way? That we can choose ourselves. Back to Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Very good point, Prabhu. Again, devotees, by saying easy, simple, don't consider this as less value. This is the most efficient. This is very doable, right? So, and it is easy. We are not just saying because it is easy, I'm just taking some option. No, this is the best option. And it is also easy. We are not doing this just because as an excuse or as an option, alternative option. Oh, the other paths are very difficult. I will take this. No, this is the best at this point. There's nothing better than this. Because even if I do my best chakra, satchakra yoga, there is a possibility that my body may not be favorable. Yes, Prabhu.
Can I add one point, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Sure.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, Prabhuji, that chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is one of the best mantra meditation and than yoga, because Prabhupada has persisted so many times that This is so wonderful and so happy and so joyfully you can do. And in one of the Varaha Puranas, there is a verse, Prabhuji, Yadi Vatadi Doshena Madbhakto Mam Nacha Smaret Aham Smarami Madbhakta Nayami Paramagatim. If my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of death because of disturbances felt within his body at that time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to my supreme abode. So that is what Krishna tells Prabhuji, even after chanting, because we have so much of problems during the time of when we leave this body. So will be not available to, I mean, we will not be able to think of Krishna because of the pain or whatever it is. But the Krishna assures so nicely in that this verse that he tells, even if my devotee he doesn't remember at the time of that, I will take him back to my abode. I'm sure about this. This is what it is told in the Varaha Purana, one of the verses, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, amazing. Wonderful, Mataji. That's a
Yeah.
great point.
Hats off,
Even
Mataji.
if we forget, Krishna will remember us. That's the ultimate thing. Raghu Prabhu, did you want to say something or you already said?
No, well, I think others have already said a lot, but
Okay.
I just want to emphasize same thing. Uh, at least in case of my father, when he was in the late 90s, he was still doing his chanting, and he was also listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So his mind was for him. Luckily, it was alert, and he was. But thing is, physically, he was down, but he was able to still do his do the chanting and do the round. So the point that Mataji just made is very correct, and it's absolutely the what bhakti yoga gets you into. And every verse here, after describing uh, the particular points in the verse, uh, Prabhupada always gets back to bhakti yoga and doing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, very true, Prabhu. And Srila Prabhupada is a great example, role model for all of us. He was relishing each and every activity related to Krishna in a much happier way. He used to relish completely, whether it was deity worship or writing books. He was writing books at 2 a.m., but in a very smiling, very happy way. So that is also, we have to consider that, as Baldeswar Prabhuji is saying, you want to be happy in this journey? And devotees, acharyas are saying this is an eternal journey. It's not that we are not saying once if I go back to Goloka Vrindavan, I'm not going to serve Krishna. I'll become Krishna. That's not the goal. There also, a devotee's mood is Krishna, I want to serve you there also. So in that respect, it's an eternal journey. But how happy can we be in this journey? I think Bhakti Yoga definitely shows. Again, devotees, I personally would not undermine or criticize other types of yoga. They are all good. But this is a kind of from what we are seeing from Acharya, from what we are seeing from Krishna, he's guaranteeing this. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam e vaisase satyam te. Satyam. He uses the word satyam for bhakta. I promise you, Arjuna, do not fear. Why is he doing that? He could have easily said, Manmana, yogi, he could have easily said that, right? Manmana bhava, yogi could have said, but he's saying bhakta. Just, mam namaskuru and satyam. I promise you. So these are all we have to put collectively. But here he's talking about Satchakra. He's saying, but at the same time, with devotion. Without devotion, if you're going to be just a perfect Ashtanga yogi or this kind of chakra yogi, it is good. But you will not get, from what Krishna is saying, you may that we will leave it to Krishna. But all we know, let us think about Krishna all the time. So devotees, the time is 9. I know it was a good discussion. More to come tomorrow. Krishna is going to talk more. all this, the next few chapters is only about bhakti. Krishna is going to talk about his various way of connecting to him. Whether you call it Ashtanga Yoga, ultimately the idea is what are you going to do with the Samadhi stage? You have to concentrate, meditate upon the Paramatma. Who is that Paramatma? Krishna. And whoever can understand that, they will achieve, reach the highest perfection. Devotees, any final comment before we conclude? Whoever, Subal Prabhu, you did not say anything today. We would like to
Krishna
conclude.
Prabhuji, Dandatam. No, Prabhuji, wonderful discussion, everybody. Yeah, as we know, of course, Ashtanga Yoga is important, for our body and mind. But at the same time, the greatest is Bhakti Yoga. But as Prabhupada said, we have to, because this body is also a temple, because we have, Lord Krishna here. So we have to, nicely take care of it and reach his Lord's abode. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please add Hare Krishna.
Very good. Dear devotees, the time is almost 9:07. Pavan Prabhu, are you an experienced yoga person? You're doing it for a few years, right?
Reasonably, sir. 2+ years, 2.5 years almost.
Very good, Prabhu. I will call you later. You may be of some seva to ISKCON Tampa, Prabhu. Because we do a yoga program at the US, sir. And right now the school is closed. But I'll explain you in detail. We can talk. Okay?
Anytime, Prabhu.
Oh, Haribol. Dear devotees, sure. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. ISKCON Tampa Sankirtana ki jai. ISKCON Tampa Bhagavad Gita study session ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And today is a special wedding
Krishna,
anniversary for our Bhashwati Mataji and Shomen Prabhu. Let's give them a big Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol Mataji.
Haribna. Thank you so much, Sridham Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.